Alright, hey guys, Kyle here from Team Moons again. Today we're going to give you a deck profile on a new deck I recently put together. It's Ties of the Brethren Volcanics. Now this deck is really good, this format. Um, Being able to use Volcanic Scattershot to pretty much Regeki on your opponent's turn is really good to break boards. Um, it's a really good lockdown deck with a lot of traps, a lot of consistency, and anything that you can main deck barrier statues in or turbo out barrier statues is very good this format because being able to stop special summons is just really key in pretty much shutting down the one turn kill decks that are very rampant right now. So getting into it, we have 3 Volcanic Rocket. He's one of your main cards of your deck. You summon them to search your Blaze Accelerator. Pretty straightforward. Next we have 3 Scattershot. He is probably, I would consider one of the main Volcanic monsters, even though he's not really kind of rarityed out like the rest of them are. But what he does is when he's sent from the hand or whatever to the graveyard by a Blaze Accelerator effect, you can send 2 more and inflict 1500 damage total and then Regeki. And this is usable during your player's turn based on your Blaze Accelerator card. Next we play 3 Volcanic Shells. He's good because with Blaze Accelerator you can discard him, draw a card, and then pay 500 and add another one. So it basically speeds up the deck a lot more and makes it more consistent. Next, you play just the 1 Volcanic Slicer. He's only in here for the Ties of the Brethren target because he's a level 4 Pyro Fire. Other than that, he's pretty much useless. You don't ever want to draw him, so that's why I only play 1. Next, for Volcanic support, we play 3 Royal Firestorm Guards. This is basically your Pot of Avarice for the deck. You put back 3 your Scatter Shots and probably a Rocket, and you draw 2 cards. So any 4 Fire Monsters and draw 2 cards. It lets you recycle your Scatter Shots so you can Regeki several times per game. It's really strong. Next you play 2 Barrier Statues of the Fire. We only play 2 because we never really want to draw this, and we only really want to get it off through Ties of the Brethren, and it's recyclable also through Firestorm Guards. By itself, he doesn't do a whole lot, but if you do your first turn Ties of the Brethren play followed up by some back row, you're pretty much keyed in to win the game. Next, for like out of archetype support cards, you play 2 Summoner Monks. You play these so you can pitch a spell from your hand to special summon your Rocket, and then you can do your Ties of the Brethren play after that. So it's basically like you play 5 Rockets. It's pretty solid. And finally, for the monsters, you play 2 Thunder Kings. These are really good this format. Everything searches, everything adds cards from the deck to the hand. It gets over synchros very easily, and he's just a really good anti-meta stun card. Next, for the spells, we play probably the main card in the deck. I want to say probably Ties of the Brethren. Pay 2,000 life points and summon basically any 2 monsters from your deck is basically what it boils down to. This card is amazing. This card is what makes the deck relevant in this format. With this card, you can't really beat things like ABC and stuff, which this deck has done before several times. But this is the card that makes it faster. This is the card that lets all your plays start up. So you need to run 3 of that. Next you play 1 Wildfire. This is pretty much like a quick play Dark Hole that starts to net you pluses throughout the game. I side 2 more, but 1 in the main deck is just fine. It's not always live. You play 2 Instant Fusions. Volcanic Shell is a level 1, so you can use Thousand Eyes Restrict, and everything else is pretty much level 4, so Norden's really good for you for making Exceed plays. Next we play 2 Magic Planter. We play a whole bunch of continuous trap cards in this deck, so this is just some really solid draw power to get through your deck. And also to start your pluses through your Tri-Blaze Accelerator. You play the 1 Soul Charge because you can, and you play 1 Duality. This, starting off, I'll say this, but this deck has 45 cards in it. And I know that might seem really bad, but with all the draw power this deck has, it's actually not super hindering. Like you see your combo pretty much every time anyway, and you draw through so much through your deck through Blaze Accelerator and through all your other cards with Magic Planter and stuff. So like it's fine playing it with 45. As like a competitive player, I've played for several years. Like I know that 40 cards is pretty much like what you want to run, but this deck can actually manage really well with 45 cards. And running the 1 Duality, most people probably say why not just cut the 1 Duality and just make it 44 cards for more consistency. But like this, you're playing this like a stun deck, so if you draw this, Yes, this could have been any other card, but it also gives you an option to draw whichever card you need for this specific situation. Sorry, so I like the one duality. Next for the traps, you run a shitload of traps. You're playing 3 Blazing Saw to reload. Discard one Volcanic, draw 1 card. Usable during either player's turn, so you're drawing pretty much a card every single turn, in addition to your normal draw. And when this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it to send Volcanic from your deck to the graveyard. So if you send your Scatter Shot, you can send 2 more Scatter Shots and then Regecate their field on their turn during their main phase. So it's really, really strong. Next, you play 3 Fiendish Chain. You run 2 Magic Planters, so the more continuous traps you have, the better. And Fiendish Chain is just a really good anti-meta stun card. I like it a lot. It comes in handy very, very often. Next, you're playing a couple Mirror Forces. You're playing Storm Mirror Force. This comes in handy a whole lot. It's kind of not as good versus Pendulums, but versus every other matchup, it's really, really strong. In addition to those, you play 2 Quakings. And this is good against the whole meta. This is one of the strongest blowout cards in the game that we have right now, so it's hard not to play that in the anti-meta deck. Now, speaking of blowout cards, we have 3 Floodgate Trap Holes. Now, this is my favorite card pretty much in the entire game right now. I want to run as many of these as I can fit into any one of my decks. This card's like a Quaking that they don't have to attack. When they pen 5, you book all 5 and they cannot get them back up, and it's just really, really strong. So many people have lost games just when you flip this card, because they can't get around it. And you play the 1 Bottomless just because you can. 1 Bottomless is good. Play the 1 Warning because you can, and you play the 1 card win condition Vanity's Emptiness just because you can. You don't want to special summon a whole lot once you do your turn 1 play, so it's not really a big deal. For the extra deck, we have Thousand Eyes Restrict for Insuffusion target, and Norden for an Insuffusion target. Good for the rank 4 plays, and good for getting rid of other things and then exceeding into one of your rank 1s. And we play 2 of those. We play Utopia Roots, and we play Dual Hand. Dual Hand is probably the best rank 1 that you can go into pretty much in any deck. But I find Utopia Roots is really good if I'm kind of running low on resources. I need to negate a few more attacks. And in the right circumstance, he can get pretty strong. For the rank 4s, the one, like, this deck isn't really like a rank 4 toolbox deck. There's just a lot of filler in here. But if the case ever comes up where you need to exceed past your barrier statue, you go into Infernal Flame Vixen. She turns into like a Justice Cycle Reader when she's destroyed, and she detaches material to make herself 27. So like she's okay, but like the only reason why you run her is because she's a fire rank 4. Filler cards, you run the Utopia package because Ultimate Falcon sucks, and there's very little ways to get over that card, and a lot of other problem cards. So like, if you can play this, you might as well. Cowboy for game, Castel, Emerald. Emerald actually comes up a lot because you can recycle your if you don't have Royal Firestorm cards, you can use this as like a pseudo Royal Firestorm guard. Sorry, I can't talk today. Because you can put back all your scatter shots and just fuel them like that. Rafflesia, you can play 4 Trap Hole cards. Diamondar is good. Dweller is good, and Dark Rebellion because sometimes you can't get over things, but like it doesn't really come up. Usually if you do your turn 1 play, you're probably going to win anyway. So that's it for the deck. The only thing I would say about it that's negative is that, like, if they get rid of your statues and by some means they draw a double Twin Twister or like some stupid bullshit like that, it's a little bit hard to come back. Like, the comeback factor isn't really high, but your turn 1 board isn't super impressive, but like it's hard to get around. It's a really, really good anti-meta deck. It's very stun heavy. It pretty much auto loses the pendulums. Metal foes, not pendulums, because they're all fire anyway, and your deck's base to stop anything that's not fire. So that being the case, I'd more like consider this a rogue deck rather than like a viable top tier deck. But there's side cards that are against metal foes, so the deck is still really strong. Other than that, if you guys have any suggestions that you'd like to see me put in the deck, you can feel free to shoot us a message, and I'll definitely take a look at it. As I tweak the deck and update it, I'll post more videos, and there's more videos yet to come. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the video, you can go ahead and subscribe. Like the video, it would mean a lot, get some more views on the channel, and thanks a lot. Team Moon signing out.